Welcome back to the introduction of new structural regional economics. In this part, we will learn about the last part of Section 7, the integrated development of China's Yangtze River Delta urban agglomerations, and take Ningbo, Zhejiang Province, China as an example. To analyze the path of Ningbo's integration into the YRD urban agglomeration using new structural regional economic tools. Let's start the lecture with a brief introduction to the theory of regional economic integration. The development of regional economic integration theory is a continuous evolution process. It first originated from the theory of classical economic integration, mainly the custom union, further evolved into the international economic integration theory, including the expansion of both the free trade zone theory and the customs union theory. The third is the integration of common market theory and factor market. The fourth is the center-periphery theory of new economic geography represented by Krugman. At present, the most commonly used theoretical framework of regional economic integration in the world is Krugman's new economic geography, which relies on increasing returns to scale. Promoting regional economic integration through industrial division and regional agglomeration is an important field of new economic geography. However, an in-depth analysis found that Krugman's center-periphery theory has obvious deficiencies. First of all, the endowment structure and development stage are basically left out in the center-periphery theory model, while the new structural economics emphasizes the endowment structure and development stage. Second, the center-periphery theory model usually used labor as the only factor of production, underscoring increasing returns to scale, while new structural economics mainly stresses the comparative advantage of endowment structure. Third, the center-periphery model usually uses Dixit-Stiglitz utility function, assuming that different industries are symmetrical. New structural economics, on the other hand, is mainly aimed at developing countries, and there are 5 types of asymmetric industrial sectors. Fourth, new economic geography mainly emphasizes the spontaneous power of the market instead of emphasizing that a facilitating government has a different role to play in different industries. In comparison with that, the new structural economics has application tools like growth identification and facilitation framework and 5 major industrial policies. Combining effective market and facilitating government, it advocates market-led and government-oriented industrial policies, and different industries should be treated differently at different development stages. Overall speaking, the major difference between the new structural economic and the center-periphery model is that the former one emphasizes industrial policies such as the endowment structure, the division of the 5 types of industries, and strictly distinguishes the endowment structure and industrial structure of different development stages. Next, we use the regional integration framework from the perspectives of new structural economics to analyze how Ningbo is integrated into the Yangtze River Delta urban agglomerations with high quality. For starters, let's get to know Ningbo and the Yangtze River Delta just a little bit. The overall income level of cities in the YRD urban agglomeration is relatively high. In 2016, the per capita GDP in the region exceeded the World Bank's high income threshold. From a policy's perspective, Ningbo is the first model city of Made in China 2025, and manufacturing power and artificial intelligence are two important strategies for high-quality development of China's economy in the new era. From the perspective of urban development positioning, the development plan of YRD urban agglomerations clearly proposes to promote the Ningbo metropolitan area, efficiently integrate seaport resources, and build a world-class modern comprehensive hub port, international shipping service base, and international trade logistics center. Moreover, Ningbo Zhoushan Port is China's fourth largest port and occupies an important strategic position both in the Yangtze River Economic Belt and the Belt and Road Initiative. Given the above circumstances, there could be 5 steps to find the industrial integration path between Ningbo and the YRD urban agglomeration. The first is to locate the target city. Through the comparison of development stage, city scale, location factors, and industrial structure, it is found that Shanghai is ahead of Ningbo in the development stage, with a larger scale and a short transportation distance, and there is complementary space in the industrial structure. Among the cities in the Yangtze River Delta, Shanghai is the most suitable target city for Ningbo. The second is to analyze the urban endowment structure. The full-time equivalent of R&D personnel in Ningbo is lower, but the per capita GDP and wage level of Ningbo are very close to Shanghai. Although Ningbo does not have the human factor to receive labor-intensive, non-leading industries from Shanghai, it has more land supply and planned construction land than Shanghai, and has sufficient land and port transportation capacity in terms of land factors. The number of labor force in manufacturing companies occupies an absolute advantage but lacks the comparative advantage in wages and comparative disadvantage in high-quality talents. The third is to analyze its industrial structure. Further analyze the industrial structure to select industries that meet Ningbo's comparative advantages, industries with development prospects, industries with relatively large market potential, and industries which fast-growing enterprises are in. This is the goal of Ningbo's active integration. Comparing 3 industrial sectors of Ningbo and Shanghai, Ningbo is mainly dominated by the secondary industry, while in Shanghai, tertiary industry is the major pillar. Therefore, comparatively speaking, it should be the secondary industry where Ningbo has a comparative advantage. The fourth is to determine the path of industrial integration. On the one hand, Ningbo should base itself on industries with comparative advantages. On the other hand, it should also compare the development status and trends of the same industry in Shanghai and make sure that positions of the same industry in Shanghai and Ningbo are different. Through this table, we can find that Ningbo is similar to Shanghai in manufacturing industries, yet its petrochemical industry is leading among them all. The fifth is to tackle bottlenecks in industrial integration. From 2014 to 2018, the investment structure of enterprises in 2 cities shows that the industrial integration of Ningbo and Shanghai is in a situation which defies Ningbo's comparative advantages yet follows Shanghai's comparative advantages. Ningbo's industry with comparative advantages lies in manufacturing, but Shanghai's investment in Ningbo is concentrated in the service industry, with a relatively low proportion of manufacturing investment and high concentration of certain industries and districts. This shows Ningbo has somehow overlooked the comparative advantages and development bottlenecks of local manufacturing while introducing investments from Shanghai. In the end, the government needs to play a facilitating role. In view of the constraints and bottlenecks existing in the above industrial integration process, it is necessary for the government to take advantage of the situation to reduce the transaction costs of Ningbo and Shanghai industrial integration, enhance industrial competitiveness, and promote industrial upgrading in facets like factor supply enhancement and improvement of hard and soft infrastructure. Taking the elimination of bottlenecks restricting Ningbo's industrial transformation and development as the breakthrough point, focusing on guiding the inflow of factors, bettering infrastructure and institutional environment, and improving supporting producer services so as to facilitate Ningbo to undertake high-quality industry transfer from Shanghai or integrate into Shanghai's industrial development. The Ningbo municipal government and the Shanghai municipal government should deepen cooperation in various fields and in all directions. They should interconnect and communicate with each other, jointly construct and share in sectors like public transportation, technological innovation, industrial integration, talent cultivation, people's livelihood harness, ecological governance, and system construction. Well, now it's time to wrap up this lecture. I hope that everyone can now have some understanding of integration of the Yangtze River Delta urban agglomerations. Thank you all.